the Nothing Burger patch, but they did add Taliyah into the patch. We're gonna get to that. So, Volibear changes are targeted at balancing out his AD builds versus his currently strong AP builds. I feel like that's been the case for Volibear since forever, no? I swear, there was like the meta where you went like Cosmic Drive Rush into that Expedite item, whatever it's called. Okay. Lillia, we're looking to pull back on some of the previous changes and bring Lilia's power most of the way back to where she was before. Orianna, changes are targeted at reducing the power level of her early laning phase, especially when sitting on rank 1 Q for several levels. So the thing is, like, rank 1 Q happens occasionally in some matchups, like 3 points W is still okay, but never past 3 points. Like more than 3 points W is pretty int. But what helps Orianna is that oftentimes she will go triple tonic, so then she will have 5 points on Q at level 9, because triple tonic gives you an extra point at level 9, right? So that helps her a lot with the 3 point W. Neeko. Neeko has been strong in pro play for a while not being overly strong in regular play. We're taking some power out of her vision outputs, which are better used in pro play without overly impacting her regular play. Okay. Neeko is a very tough thing to balance for Riot, I think. Varus. Varus was overbuffed a while ago, and so we're practically reverting the buff to his Q damage. Lethality Varus has been the strongest ADC in pro, and we're tapping him down to not overrun the pro meta. That's kinda cope. I don't think Lethality Varus is that good, but yeah, okay, sure. Okay, so we have Garen. They're giving Garen 0.4 moon speed on Q, and E damage is gonna go up by scaling wise 2% flat, so mostly a late game buff on E. So what you're gonna realize here is that 1.4 MS move speed on Garen used to be an old number on Garen, and he was really strong back then with this number. I do think this is like a lot of power to the champion, because Garen's main weakness is being kited, right? And also this maybe makes Garen be more... It gives him more of an option to start maxing W sooner, instead of just putting all 5 points into Q. But overall, like, yeah, the champion's weakness is being kited. Giving him free moon speed into the build is just going to be really, really good. I'm expecting 1% win it at least here for Garen, and I think it's going to be S tier pick in low elo and pretty good in high elo. Listen, Q1 and Q2 damage goes up by 5, whatever, placebo buff, not going to do anything. Lillia, passive monster heal AP ratio increased to 15% from 9% AP. Q AP ratio increased from 35% AP to from 30% AP. Okay, our base damage decreased to 100 to 200, from 150 to 250, and 5% less AP ratio. Cooldown increased by 10 seconds flat on R, so they're nerfing R and making her passive heal more, and Q AP ratio being up by 5%. Are these buffs? These are buffs to the champion? Because, like, is passive monster heal even important when the reality is that if you kite well, you don't really take any damage in current jungle anyway? So you could kind of dismiss this passive buff, right? And then the Q buff, it's like 5% Q AP ratio for 5% less AP ratio on R and less and more cooldown on R and less base damage. It's like, yeah, you cast Q more times, so you could argue that Q is more damage than the R. It's more important to have more damage on Q. Sure. And the AP ratio is 10%, right? If it's on the edge. So technically the buff is a bit bigger than 5%. But the cooldown nerf on R matters a lot for this champion. Now, overall, like, I wouldn't say it's like a nerf. I also wouldn't say it's a buff. It's probably like a kind of neutral change. Mell, Q damage per additional bolt goes up from 5 to 9 to 5 to 13. So it's going to be mostly a buff to the spell when you put points into it, right? So it's not going to be a level 1 buff, but at level 9, this would be full in effect, okay? Our base damage will go up by 25, 50, 75, and passive minion mod will go down by 0.1. So, okay, if I understand correctly, passive minion mod will probably not have that much of an impact. I think you're still going to be able to one-shot ranged minion with one auto attack after tower hits it once. So I don't think it's going to have really that much of an impact. Our base damage going up is really nice. I think Mell and Cassiopeia are, in particular, these two Rs are, in my opinion, one of the lowest damage Rs in the game, and they both feel horrible to use. So I kind of like that the base damage is being increased here. I think this is nice. And then the Q damage also being increased. This is nice. Like, we're giving some damage buffs to Mell, which she needs. She already got durability last patch. She's kind of going to be same champion. Struggles against tanks, struggle killing bruisers. Only good when her reflect value is really, really there. But it's what she needs. Probably like, hopefully, close to 1% win rate bump here. Nocturne passive cooldown down by 1. So this might actually matter because like when you're clearing with Nocturne, this 1 second cooldown could be the difference maker between getting another cast sooner or not, right? Depending on how the math plays out. I'm not sure, I'm not a Nocturne player. Q bonus MS 5% up, okay. Volibear doesn't say anything. Kha'Zix, Q based AD down by 5%. This is bigger, right? If you're isolated, moon speed down by 5 as well. So Kha'Zix will no longer have one of the highest moon speeds in the game together with Mastery, which I think is okay. This will be more than 1% when you're down to Kha'Zix. He will no longer be completely dominant in jungle. You guys have to understand that every time Riot nerfs Kha'Zix Q, the champion is very sensitive to Q damage changes because then his lethal thresholds are changed and he really needs all, like he's an assassin, so any small damage loss on this champion matters a lot, just like it does for any assassin. And every time they buff or nerf Kha'Zix Q, his win rate goes down by a lot or goes up by a lot. So because Q is like essentially his whole kit, right? Neeko. W cooldown starts on W clone expiration. So okay, I think this is a massive nerf to Neeko, right? This is a massive nerf to Neeko because obviously in pro play they do the tricks where they send out the clone in a bush and they press B and then the clone is there for like 8 more seconds with the recall animation. It's such a massive nerf to this ability. Like it is insane of a nerf. I honestly thought what they would do is they would just make the clone give you less vision. So Neeko can just send the clone to Africa and it like reveals the whole map, right? That's what I thought they were gonna do. Wow, I mean, Neeko, insane nerf for pro play. Insane nerf. Now, my question here is how is Riot going to balance this champion long term? Because I don't think her kit fits mid lane at all. I don't think she has enough going in her kit. I think Riot should commit to her being a support. Then they should, in my opinion, they should slowly undo some of the things that make Neeko prosecute. For example, her interactions with the clone are very prosecute. They could slowly remove them or nerf them like they're doing here, for example, and then slowly buff her back up in other ways. I think would be good for long term for the champion, so more people can like play a decent version of Neeko and it's not just a pro bound champion. Orianna QCD up by 1 second. It makes you a little bit more incentivized to max Q as well, but Q max is already like a lot better than W. Yeah, it's going to be a nerf to Orianna, right? It's gonna matter for her early laning phase, which is very oppressive. Then they added a sneaky Taliyah nerf. This wasn't here yesterday. Q per rock base damage down by 5. Q bonus monster damage also down a little bit because jungle Taliyah is actually quite decent. People just don't play it. Like her clear speed is really insane right now. Another damage loss to Taliyah. I feel like this is one thing that I don't like about Taliyah and why I don't play the champion. Oh wait, it's up. Never mind. Q bonus monster damage rock. It's actually up a little bit, but not up the same amount as she's losing, right? This is to not nerf her in jungle too much. Okay, I misread it. So yeah, it's another reason why I just hate fucking playing Taliyah. Because she just feels like a champ that does no damage. Like really. It's like it triggers me that her W does no damage and her ult spell triggers me because it can be so useless in so many scenarios. Her whole kit is only about Q and E and it pisses me off a little bit. And it just feels so unsatisfying to play. I don't understand how people main this champion and feel okay. Azir. So yeah, let's light up a candle for all the Azir mains out there because Azir is probably going to hit one of the lowest win rates he maybe ever was as a champion. Right now, I think he was like, what, 44? So this is at least 1% win rate loss, probably a little bit higher. I would assume it's like 1.2%. So yeah, the champ is going, it's closer to 40% than he is to 50. That's all we can say, right? So people, I saw people in chat saying earlier, like health growth, what does that matter? This is, like what? This is 11 HP per level, right? So he's losing more than 180 HP at level 18, more than a ruby crystal, right? Riot has this level where I think they nerf like, I don't know what it is, like 8 or 9 HP per level growth, and a champ loses 1% win rate. So I'm pretty sure this is slightly higher than 1% win rate loss. And yeah, the champ is gonna be very squishy. He's gonna lose a lot of HP late game. Varus, Q max damage, down by 40. The bonus AD ratio goes to 150%, which is overall a nerf because you max Q first. And the early game, bonus AD is obviously a scaling lever, so this is just a massive nerf to the ability. This is like a nuke to Lethality Varus. W on hit Varus, however, will get a 15% bonus AD scale. So, if you You want to play on-hit Varus? Maybe. But then again, why would you play on-hit Varus when you can just play Kog'Maw with Dusk and Down right now? And it kind of like just a better champion, in my opinion. So, no real reason to play on-hit Varus. But in Fearless, maybe in some games, right? If they have full HP stacking team comp. I think overall, still a nerf, right? Unless you're playing on-hit and you're just fully committing to that. But I think the on-hit item system is not in a good place for on-hit Varus anyway. This is a nuke to Lethality Varus. I think if you're playing Lethality Varus in pro play after this, you're just straight up trolling. This is like insane. Your champ is unplayable. If you go Lethality. Hubris, 200 gold down. So they do the thing that they're doing to a lot of Lethality items over like along patches, is that they always make them cheap. They want Lethality items to be cheap. So Lethality champions spike faster. This is like their thought process behind this type of changes. Yeah, Hubris is a little bit weak. This is a massive Aeron buff because I'm pretty sure Hubris is a really good item in Aeron. Locket is gonna get 90 more shield in early game, scaling from level 8, but now it's before it's scaled from level 1. So I believe the math here is that the item is better if you buy it second, right? Not sure how it is if you buy it first. It's probably kind of equal. I don't know. But if you buy it second, it's buffed, I guess. Whatever the math is. Yeah, okay, sure. Why not? It's not gonna like make a huge difference that you're now going to buy Locket, but before you didn't. You're buying Locket in the same champions in the same spots. So yeah, it's not gonna do much. Anyway, this is the first patch where, as much as it is a pro play focused patch, it is the first patch where mid lane is not the second least changed role. Support is obviously still the least changed role again. But this time, with Azir, Taliyah, and Orianna having a pretty massive implication on high elo and pro play. Finally something. It's gonna maybe shift the meta a little bit. So I think what's gonna happen is Ahri is probably just gonna overtake the meta because she's just the queen. There's no counterplay to Ahri. And then after Ahri, I'm not sure. You can kind of go anywhere. Orianna will still be probably fine to play in pro play. After the nerfs, Azir, people will play Azir, but they shouldn't. Taliyah, maybe still gonna be played because it's comfort, right? But you can go into many different directions after this, right? Maybe some players will pick up Zoe. TF has been showing some play. Maybe they're gonna go more into assassins like Akali. Aurelion Sol is still there. Yeah, I don't know. Pro play Aurora, I guess, is also gonna be one, right? The pro play is very open, I guess. Very, very open. Oh, mid lane.